Have you ever played one of those educational survivor games? They're cool. It starts with a crisis, a plane crash, an avalanche, a landslide, just your usual crisis, putting you and your team into dire straits. You're left with a motley array of items, and you and your team have to find a way to survive. Well, if you haven't been part of a game like this, you should try it, and we're going to tell you why in just a minute. Hi, I'm Victoria Downing, and welcome to Power Tips TV, where we talk about tips, tactics, and techniques to help you build a strong, profitable remodeling company. Survival games are a fantastic tool for building a sense of team, for helping every individual appreciate the value that each of the other staff members bring to the table. It's a really cool tool. What you learn when you do it, beyond a doubt, is not only some survival tips, which, hey, we can all use, but also that groupthink surpasses individual brain power almost every time. In other words, the decisions made by a group of people working toward a common goal are 80 to 90% better, more effective than the decisions that any one person, no matter how smart, makes alone. So if you weren't already realizing just how powerful group thinking is, these games are a fun way to settle the issue. So why don't business owners include their staff in more of the important decision making that goes on in a company? Why don't we talk to them more about the challenges and ask for their input? The first step is to be willing to let your staff know that you don't have all the answers. Now that's tough for some. In fact, for others, it can be downright scary. It's like for years you've been the little red hen running everything for the company. And a lot of times their first employees are subpar because these owners are still honing their hiring skills and systems. They hide their financial reports, being sure that their employees are going to learn too much about the business, leave, and become a competitor. But really, how often does that happen? Now, even more prevalent is the idea that when there's a system needed or a checklist or a procedure, that the simplest, quickest, and most effective way to get it done is, by George, to do it myself. The owner has to do it. But it is often simplest and quickest and efficient, but it doesn't help you in the long run. If you continue to do and not include your staff in a lot of these decisions and directions, how do you ever take off a hat and begin to delegate? You're going to save time immediately, but you're going to fail in your efforts to build a strong business in the end. The first step in growing a business and gaining control of your life is to begin to involve your staff, both in the strategic thinking of the company and in the implementation of the ideas that are developed. When your staff participates, they're going to own the decisions that are made because they understand why they were made and how that's going to impact the company. They'll buy into the reasons behind the choices, and they'll be all in when it's time to share responsibilities and help. If we look at the entire process of devising a solution, applying it, improving it, making it a habit, then the simplest, quickest, and most efficient way is to involve staff from the start. Not only that, but this group is likely to come up with a better solution than you would anyway. So, groupthink isn't neat and tidy. Democracy takes longer at first, but the results are much better and it will free you up. So for example, how do you get a group of your staff who have varying opinions to a final decision after all the different ideas have been thrown out? It's sort of like a jury. There's usually a general opinion. There's those who love it and those who are less enthusiastic. But the deal is that everybody needs to agree that even if they don't 100% love it, they can live with it so you can move on and get things done. Every once in a while, when you're playing the survival game, one person might get answers. They might do better than the group as a whole. This doesn't really happen very often. And when it does, what it really indicates in the game and in real life is that the leader of the group didn't get input from everybody in the room. So as the leader of your team, your staff, your group, it's up to you to make sure that you get input on the decision from everybody in the room. If you're talking production, ask that super quiet carpenter over there in the corner for his or her opinion. Get everybody's input, and I guarantee the decisions you make, the strategies you develop, the directions you take will be way better than trying to do it on your own. These games also teach that developing the right strategy first before you start throwing out answers is super important. So depending on whether the group playing the game decides the best survival strategy is sending the two hardiest members for help, or that you're all going to stay together and wait to be discovered, or that you're all going to hike to help. Hike to freedom, the items you choose could change dramatically. Just like in our company meetings. If half of the staff are thinking that you're headed in one direction and the other half thinks you're headed in another direction, they're going to have a really hard time coming to one solution and creating the best possible solution for the problem. And I haven't even mentioned that one of the biggest benefits of utilizing the brain power of everyone is that it frees you up as owner. You are preparing your staff to be leaders in the business to help you create a company that's not dependent on you, that allows you to take that 4-week dream vacation to the beaches of Fiji. Include your team in the process of making big company decisions and see how everyone and the company grows. Thanks for watching Power Tips TV. If this is your first time with us, please subscribe and come back every week. We'd love to have you. And if you have an issue you'd like us to tackle, please send it via Twitter to @VictoriaDowning and use the hashtag PTAnswers. We'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, and see you again next time. And I haven't even mentioned that one of the biggest benefits of fully utilizing the brain power of everyone in your company, when you're playing the okay, and the implementation of the ideas that are developed. Poop.
Crushed it. It was like, eyes popped out of my head. It's like,
Dang, I was on a roll too.